The term Bronze Age was introduced by Danish antiquarian Christian Jørgensen Thomsen as part of his three-age classification system. This system grouped artifacts by their primary material, stone, bronze, or iron, marking stages of technological advancement. A civilization is considered to be in the Bronze Age if it produces bronze itself or acquires it through trade. Consequently, civilizations entered and experienced the Bronze Age at different times, with some regions embracing it far longer than others. Nevertheless, Bronze Age societies share a set of defining characteristics that distinguish this era across various cultures. Making the Bronze Age. A defining feature of the Bronze Age was the production and widespread use of bronze, an alloy primarily made of copper with about 12 to 12.5% tin or arsenic. Bronze's lower melting point made it feasible to produce with ancient kilns, unlike iron, which melts at a much higher temperature. Copper, tin, and arsenic all melt at significantly lower temperatures, easily managed by the technology of the time. Early bronze production often used copper and arsenic due to naturally occurring copper-arsenic ores, resulting in what's called arsenical bronze. However, the introduction of tin bronze marked a major improvement. Tin both lowered the alloy's melting point and produced a stronger metal without the hazardous fumes associated with arsenic. Since bronze making required specific ores, its production often entailed some level of trade to obtain the necessary materials. Bronze Age Chronology. Creating a unified timeline for the Bronze Age is challenging because the adoption and evolution of bronze technology did not occur simultaneously across regions. Consequently, the Bronze Age began and concluded at different points depending on the location. This often results in the term Bronze Age being associated more with specific cultures or civilizations than with a fixed era. Despite these variations, a general timeline focusing on well-known Bronze Age civilizations can still be beneficial for placing this era into a broader historical context. However, this overview is not exhaustive and doesn't encompass every Bronze Age society. The Ancient Near East, 3300 to 1100 BC. Egypt, 3150 to 1100 BC. The Aegean, 3000 to 1100 BC. India, 3300 to 1500 BC. China, 2000 to 771 BC. Great Britain, 2100 to 750 BC. Nordic Bronze Age, 1700 to 500 BC. Geographic range of the Bronze Age. A hallmark of the Bronze Age was its expansive geographic reach, largely driven by the need for trade. Since copper and tin were not as readily available as other metals, societies needed direct access to these resources or to secure them through trade partnerships to produce bronze on a large scale. Competition over these metals led to exploration, conflict, and migration, spreading bronze-making practices far and wide. Beyond the traditional centers like China, Mesopotamia, Egypt, the Indus Valley, and the Aegean, bronze technology reached regions as varied as the Pontic-Caspian steppe, Southeast Asia, Japan, Korea, Central Asia, Central and Sub-Saharan Africa, and West Africa. While trade certainly helped spread bronze-making knowledge, some cultures likely developed the techniques independently. The basics of bronze production are relatively simple and could arise from any activity involving high heat or kilns. Differentiating whether bronze technology emerged through external influence or independent discovery, however, remains challenging. In the Americas, for example, copper working evolved independently of Old World practices, and though some bronze artifacts have been found, it's uncertain if they were produced deliberately or by chance due to the alloy proportions. The development of writing. A major feature of the Bronze Age was the rise of fully developed writing systems. While proto-writing had emerged during the Neolithic and Chalcolithic periods, it was in the Bronze Age that these evolved into complete scripts. Much like bronze technology, some writing systems were independently created, while others were inspired by earlier models. Among these early scripts were Mesopotamian cuneiform, Egyptian hieroglyphs, Cretan hieroglyphs, Chinese logographs, and the undeciphered Indus script. By the end of the Bronze Age, the first alphabets were developed, a streamlined system of symbols representing distinct sounds. Before alphabets, most scripts relied on a blend of ideograms, pictorial representations of words, phonograms, symbols representing specific sounds, and determinatives, symbols to clarify meaning without indicating sound. Most modern alphabets can trace their roots to the Semitic languages of the Near East and the Proto-Sinaitic script, which was likely created to bridge communication between Egyptians and various Semitic groups. Urban development. The Bronze Age saw an urban revolution marked by the emergence of cities and the rapid growth of established settlements. Though large communities existed in the Neolithic and Chalcolithic eras, they were surpassed in size and complexity by Bronze Age cities. This transformation has often been attributed to a blend of the Neolithic revolution, with advancements in farming and animal domestication, alongside the urban revolution, which allowed civilizations to thrive. Cities in the Bronze Age are generally identified by 10 defining traits: a higher than average population density, labor specialization, taxation systems, monumental architecture, ruling elites, writing, record-keeping of practical sciences, symbolic art, long-distance trade networks, and state governance based on residence rather than family ties. Urban centers of the Bronze Age mirrored the complexity of their societies. In China, geomantic principles oriented city walls along cardinal directions, while Indus Valley cities had advanced sanitation with flowing water. Near Eastern cities were often structured around temples and sustained a powerful priestly class, whereas Egyptian cities controlled the fertile Nile farmlands. Technological achievements. The Bronze Age brought a surge of innovative tools and technologies that significantly advanced daily life and warfare. Unlike stone or copper, bronze proved more resilient and versatile, allowing it to be crafted into various tools and objects. One of the most transformative inventions of this era was the wheel, which revolutionized multiple fields. Pottery wheels increased ceramic quality and production. Cartwheels made long-distance trade easier, and chariots redefined warfare. Additional Bronze Age inventions included the rope, umbrellas, kites, plows, swords, locks, and soap. Many of these were new, while others were enhancements of earlier tools. For instance, armor, once made of bark or hides, was now forged from bronze for greater protection. Similarly, the age-old axe became sturdier and more efficient with the introduction of bronze heads and sockets, leading to the powerful socketed axe. These innovations reflected a blend of new creations and refinements, marking the Bronze Age as a period of major technological advancement. Bronze Age collapse. Iron gradually replaced bronze as advancements made it possible to use this stronger, more abundant metal. However, the shift from bronze to iron was not immediate, and both metals were often used simultaneously over a long period, with the transition varying by region. Archaeologically, pinpointing the start of the Iron Age can be challenging. Simply finding iron artifacts isn't enough. Iron or steel must have become locally produced in high quality and widely used, effectively surpassing bronze. An exception to this gradual transition is seen in the Late Bronze Age collapse around 1200 to 1000 BCE, affecting civilizations across the Aegean, Egypt, Anatolia, and the Near East. This period saw the breakdown of many states and the destruction of urban centers, with some regions emerging significantly weakened. The exact causes of this collapse remain debated, with theories ranging widely. Yet, for the affected areas, this disruption marked a clearer boundary between the Bronze and Iron Ages compared to other regions. What happened after the Bronze Age? The end of the Bronze Age marked a period of transformation, both in terms of technology and culture. In most regions, though not universally, the Bronze Age was succeeded by the Iron Age, a shift that unfolded over an extended period as ironworking gradually overtook bronze production. This technological evolution often went hand in hand with significant cultural changes, sometimes even driving them. Many areas saw the emergence or arrival of new cultures and peoples as the Bronze Age waned. In regions like the Aegean, Near East, and Anatolia, the transition brought rapid technological and societal changes. Meanwhile, Egypt and the Indus Valley experienced deep decline, revealing as much cultural transformation as they did continuity. Europe's progression into the Iron Age happened more slowly, whereas in China, bronze and iron coexisted, meaning that Chinese history transitioned not into an Iron Age, but rather into eras defined by successive dynasties.